Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of our veterans on Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. I mean that sincerely and with deep gratitude. And for all those who support our veterans, I want to thank you for everything that you do to support our vets. And I think it's important because many of us, myself included, when we think of veterans, we tend to think of those guys that served a long time ago. Those men and women back in World War I, World War II. And quite frankly, that's correct. All of those people were, and still, for many who are still alive, veterans. However, it's important to note they're not the only veterans. As a matter of fact, the definition of veteran is anybody who's actually served in the military. So that means even the young 17 or 18-year-old kid right now who enlists in our armed forces, not only is that man or woman a veteran, but he or she is heroic. And a lot of people say, well, not necessarily. Yes, necessarily. Because there's an oath that comes along with enlisting. It's not just a matter of going in and getting a job and then doing whatever it is. There's a solemn oath that our soldiers, our airmen, our sailors, our Marines, our Coast Guardmen, our special operators, before they go on to any training, they have to raise their right hand and they have to swear an oath to support and defend our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, for some, they might be like, well, that just, whatever. It's not whatever. This is a solemn oath. And the reason that it's so important is because if we didn't have people swearing that oath, our country wouldn't exist. And here's where people say, well, the wars that we're fighting in now, even Vietnam and Afghanistan and Iraq, that has nothing to do with, what our founding fathers fought for. And, none of that's really relevant to our freedoms. That may or may not be true. And certainly people would debate it all day long with you. But what is not debatable is that the individual swearing that oath, that in and of itself is the preservation of our rights. Because that warrior doesn't get to pick and choose where we go to war. It's not like they say, hey, you know what, it'd be great to go to Afghanistan today. Let's go pick a fight there. No, our elected civilian representatives, our leadership, they decide we're going to Afghanistan, we're going to Iraq, we're going to Vietnam, we're going to Korea, whatever it is. They decide, not the warrior. The warrior says, I will go wherever on behalf of our nation. And our enemies understand that as long as we have warriors that are willing to defend, that our rights are preserved. And I'm going to share with you a quick story where a friend and her son were really excited. They ended up getting accepted to Annapolis, United States Naval Academy, one of the best colleges in the world. And he had also gotten accepted to MIT and a lot of top engineering schools as well. This kid was brilliant. He was an athlete, had everything going for him. And they were really excited about Annapolis. And so we had this conversation. I said, why are you so excited about Annapolis? And they're like, well, don't you know how great Annapolis is? I said, I do. I said, but why is it that that's exciting for you? I'm like, oh, well, it's all expense paid. We don't have to pay for education. Plus, my son will be getting a stipend. And not only that, it's a great academic curriculum, some of the best engineering curriculum you can imagine. And when he graduates, he's going to have this resume that says United States Naval Academy on it. That it's like a gold-plated resume. It'll open doors to just about any great engineering firm around the world. I said, that's all true. But you're missing one piece. In between graduation from the Naval Academy and getting that amazing resume that's being shopped in the civilian world, there's 5 years of service. And at the time, this was when our nation was heavily engaged in Iraq and Afghanistan. So our nation's at war. And there's 5 years of service. And their response was, well, we've heard that, those 5 years, they go by really fast. And that's true, because those of us, who've served, whether it was 3 years or 30 years, will talk about, wow, it really did go by fast. That's in hindsight. However, 3 minutes in combat, that can seem like an eternity. As a matter of fact, that could be a lifetime for some. So there really was only one reason that anyone should join the armed forces, go to the Naval Academy, go to West Point, go to the Air Force Academy, and that's for service, selfless service to our nation. That's it. Everything else is secondary. If you could check that block first, then great. Go forward and serve honorably, and then go on to be successful in wherever and whatever you choose to do. So when we reach out to people, we say, hey, thank you for your service, realize there are some that are born to serve. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually wearing the logo, both on my chest and on my hat, of 3 warriors that truly were born to serve. We refer to them as the MARSOC 3. Gunnery Sergeant Danny Dreyer, Gunnery Sergeant Josh Negron, and Chief Eric Gilmet. And these guys were some of the best of the best, still are some of the best of the best. Unfortunately, they're caught up right now in a court-martial in which, from all the evidence that I've seen so far, it seems like it was a clear act of self-defense, defense of others. Yet, they're going to go under the scrutiny of our government. And we're going to continue to support them. And we're going to try and make sure that the convening authority understands that perhaps going to a court-martial in this situation is not going to bode well for anybody. We have plenty of other warriors that we continue to support, and thanks to you, we continue to get the means, financial means through your donations, to support them, to continue to fight for clemency, for paroles, and for pardons from the President of the United States. So thank you for everything that you're doing to support our veterans. And as a veteran, thank you for stepping up and taking that oath. It's an honor to be a part of this club of veterans. And let's pray for everybody who continues to serve. And for those warriors who have been unjustly accused and convicted of crimes, let's pray for them as well. So God bless you all. God bless our country. Enjoy a great Veterans Day. Thank you. Semper Fi.